Mary Trump, the estranged niece of President Donald Trump, warned this week that his approach to federal cultural institutions poses a unique threat to the future of the United States. Why It Matters. Trump this week launched a review of some Smithsonian Institution museums in Washington, D.C., to ensure alignment with the president's directive to celebrate American exceptionalism, remove divisive or partisan narratives, and restore confidence in our shared cultural institutions. It follows an executive order titled Restoring Truth and Sanity to American History, signed in March, that would eliminate improper ideology across the Smithsonian. Critics have said the order could break the independence of these museums from partisan interests. It is part of an overarching plan, she wrote. But this one, I think, carries a unique threat to our futures as an advanced country that cares about such things. We also need to remind people that the arts are the most important mirror of, and way into understanding, a society and a culture. She questioned whether this is just another assault on expertise, like others waged on the scientific and medical communities, saying it is not an isolated incident, while adding that she believes the Trump administration aims to transform the Smithsonian museums into agencies of propaganda. The idea that anybody, including Donald, thinks that he, of all people, has any business going anywhere near our cultural institutions, that he of all people has the right to interfere in our ability to learn about ourselves and other people, is quite frankly grotesque to me, she wrote. The White House, in a letter to Smithsonian Institution Secretary Lonnie Bunch, wrote that the review would be rooted in respect for the Smithsonian's vital mission and its extraordinary contributions. The review would focus on public-facing content, curatorial process, exhibition planning, collection use and narrative standards, according to the letter. Initially, the review will focus on the National Museum of American History, National Museum of Natural History, National Museum of African American History and Culture, National Museum of the American Indian, National Air and Space Museum, Smithsonian American Art Museum, National Portrait Gallery, and the Hirshhorn Museum and Sculpture Garden. Our goal is not to interfere with the day-to-day operations of curators or staff, but rather to support a broader vision of excellence that highlights historically accurate, uplifting, and inclusive portrayals of America's heritage, the letter reads. What people are saying. The White House wrote in a letter to Bunch. We view this process as a collaborative and forward-looking opportunity, one that empowers museum staff to embrace a revitalized curatorial vision rooted in the strength, breadth, and achievements of the American story. By focusing on Americanism, the people, principles, and progress that define our nation, we can work together to renew the Smithsonian's role as the world's leading museum institution. Stephen Miller, White House Deputy Chief of Staff, wrote in a post to X. The Smithsonian is supposed to be a global symbol of American strength, culture and prestige. A place for families and children to celebrate American history and greatness. Instead, the exhibits have clearly been taken over by left-wing activists who have used the Smithsonian as yet one platform to endlessly bash America and erase our magnificent story. These activists have obscenely defaced this beloved institution. The Trump administration will proudly and diligently restore the patriotic glory of America and ensure the Smithsonian is a place that once more inspires love and devotion to this nation, especially among our youngest citizens. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz wrote to X. If you're trying to erase history, you're on the wrong side of it. U.S. Representative Ayanna Pressley of Massachusetts wrote in a statement, it is the impartial role and responsibility of the Smithsonian museums to ensure a full, accurate, and resonant telling of American history. And Trump has no right to censor our history, ignore the systemic oppression of marginalized people, and attack our intellectual freedom. Much like his disgraceful rollbacks of diversity, equity, and inclusion programs and his campaign to ban books, this action is yet another attempt to whitewash our shared history and replace the challenges and triumphs of women, people of color, and Native Americans with false narratives forged with white supremacist ideology. What happens next? The White House's letter includes an implementation timeline. Within 120 days, the museum should begin implementing content corrections where necessary, replacing divisive or ideologically driven language with unifying, historically accurate, and constructive descriptions across placards, wall didactics, digital displays, and other public-facing materials.